Listen. So the Netflix top 10 has become like the new box office boasting for streaming, at least on Netflix. Like, remember when big movies started incorporating fresh tomato scores into their trailers? Well, for Code 8, showing up on that never-ending Netflix catalog is huge, especially when you have a number next to your name.
Which starts Monday at 8/7 Central. On CW.
Dude, streaming's really gonna kill that phrase by the next generation. Like, imagine telling the on-demand kids about having to tune in at a certain hour or the show is gone.
You know, it used to be you needed a friend with a camera, you needed this, you needed that. Now everyone's got one. And then not only that, for independent film, you've got so many outlets, so many streaming networks for places to go. It used to be such a studio system. Now, you know, everybody can make their own stuff.
It's a Canadian sci-fi from Canada about a future where superpowered humans get discriminated against while crime lords realize that they can get really high off their spinal fluid. I really like the concept. It's a decent action flick that, again, is a junior price available for a stream. And it also stars two finally superpowered cousins.
What was it like starring in Code 8 with me, considering I'm playing the handsome and much, much younger leading man? Did your old age make it difficult to remember all your lines?
No, your performance did.
They ask you how you are.
Let me explain. So director Jeff Chan had previously done a couple of COD shorts. Obviously, most know Steven from his action-packed work in WWE.
Stephen Amell shouldn't have done that. Look at him move. Shouldn't have done that.
But it was Robbie who came in with the super-powered vendetta after getting memed for one of his first big roles in The Duff.
But I'm the guy who hates seeing poor athleticism on camera. Because I didn't grow up an actor, and it just always really bugs me. And I was like, this is my nightmare, being the guy that I hate. Honestly,
Have them paint the football in post.
Well, now he can yell cut. They started their own crowdfunding campaign through Indiegogo, aiming to raise $200,000 to turn their short film into a future. And wouldn't you know it? You know, they accidentally tripled it or so.
300 people paid money to fly to Toronto. Some were from here, but a lot from around the world flew to Toronto, put themselves up, and were extras in the movie.
Steven even did a voice in the original short that's up on YouTube, but made sure that he expanded it for the feature.
Except for one thing, I remember an early draft of the script where my character didn't have superpowers.
And you demanded.
Yes, I did.
Not going through this again.
So full spoilers. 4% of the population has superpowers ranging from static shock abilities to one so strong they can power an entire franchise. And the world has to deal with undocumented superpowered people because at any point someone could give birth to a Jack and black out the city. On top of that, crime syndicates, let's be honest, probably the government, are making a drug out of powered people's spinal fluid called psych. So it's definitely up there with the recent slew of gritty, realistic hero stories, minus the capes.
When we told people, they're like, "What's Code 8 mean?" and we were like, "It's a criminal. It's a code for, you know, criminal incident involving someone with a superpower." A couple people were like, "Is that a real thing?" And I'm like, "No, but it's nice that you think so." And by the way, I've been told a Code 8 is when an officer needs to pee.
I love how they went all out from the short, basically making it a Watch Dogs light. They're bringing in facial recognition, drones, an entire infrastructure that profits off of human patterns. So, you know, pretty much everything they're implementing right now. Our main character is Connor, who has shockingly good powers for construction, but without a permit, he's stuck Home Depoting it. His main goal is to raise money for his mom who has cancer, which causes her powers to flare up. But the mom's also worried because their dad got killed, robbing a store to provide for them. And now Connor's about to take an arrow to the knee, working for the bad guys. He joins Garrett and his clan, who all have superpowers, yet ironically end up being the backbone to the drug dealer pushing psych. That said, Garrett notices Connor's a lot more powerful than he knows and stares at him like a jealous cousin before teaching him how to fight back.
Be who you are. And if you see something that you want, take it.
However, he should have been teaching his crew since they all get turned on. Out of all the characters, I feel worse for Nia, who's just trying to chill the whole movie.
Nia.
She has the power to heal people, but because her father got into a lot of debt, she's pretty much the boss's HP packs that he keeps around, you know, at gunpoint. So Connor, being the good guy in the story, tries to free her and tells her to heal his mom. At gunpoint.
It could kill me.
Then he remembers the CW contract and backs off.
Having played Arrow, what does it feel like playing a bad guy? And I would go, what do you mean?
They do deal in more shades of gray than a Christian. Like, for example, one of the cops named Pare keeps drifting in and out of doing his job, but we like him because, you know, probably because he's Han, but we want him to help our good guy Connor, even though he technically should be booking our bad guy Connor. Then we learn that he even has a daughter with powers that he's protecting, and you get what's going on. Garrett may now have the scummy boss's position, but in his eyes, that sounds like a promotion. Pretty much no matter what powers we receive as humans, this story's letting us know that it's never gonna fix how broken we are. It's crazy to think that this started as a short, got the full feature, and now they have a Quibi series returning them back to short form. They've talked about wanting to recreate a raid-like action sequence going up a building, and this series is supposed to follow them years later as both of their characters meet up to take down some more crime. They even have a comic series in the work. Really, it's their own Arrowverse, but they're finally making the rules.
Ultimately, this idea rests with Jeff and with Chris. There's no studio executive there because there was no studio.
Yeah.
There's no network executive there because there was no network.
Honestly, I think it's pretty cool. You know, these are friends and family who are getting together to make this movie. Obviously, the bigger the property gets, I do worry how many more people are meddling with it. But I do think these guys in the Russos, while obviously having big franchises behind them that gave them their fan bases, at least they're doing stuff with it, you know? And in the case of Robbie, it's never having to become a meme again because the movie was rushing things like how to throw a football.
So I get to my mark, and right where I'm supposed to throw a football is a giant diffusion. So I'm like, where am I supposed to throw this football? And they're like, well, just throw it to somebody standing beside the camera. I'm like, so I'm throwing the football to someone 3 feet in front of me.
Right.
And this is just a PA who's standing beside the camera, and I don't want to rifle a football at somebody a few feet from me.
With
and
diffusion
I end up,
equipment all around,
well,
right?
I just ended up making this stupid, dinky dunk pass.
Throwing motion.
I fought the director on it.
You fought it. You fought the director.
Yeah, I was like, just make some space for me. And they're like, we don't have time for this, which is true. It's a 5-week shoot. It's my first lead role in a movie. I don't have any real power. Mm-hmm. When it went viral, the director texted me and he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I told you. I told you this would happen. And he was like, I can go on Twitter. I'm like, don't. It's fine. I'm like, just hopefully it'll die one day. And then it went way more viral. And I had friends hitting me up and they're like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, shut up. This is not my fault.
But after half a decade and a CW role later, after Life with Derek and a series of unfortunate events, Robbie finally had the chance to unleash his full power. That was also like 3 feet. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'm curious to know your thoughts down below in the comment section. It's available on Netflix for I don't know how long, but that was one thing that really stood out to me is that this isn't a Netflix original, meaning that Netflix movies have something that I don't think Disney or Apple or even HBO could do, and that's accept other movies from Disney, Apple, or HBO. I mean, at a certain point, they're not going to let them do it, but for these independent movies, it's cool that they can be on Netflix for a little bit, make it to the top 10, and it's still their own stuff. I'm curious to see what they do more with it. They're keeping the same group, which I like to hear. I know the VFX team, I believe, did In the Tall Grass, so, they got a future with them because I really like the work they did here. Other than that, I'm curious to know your thoughts down below in the comment section, dealing with this movie or any of the other ones. Thank you for commenting, liking, and subscribing, and don't forget,
If you don't like the movie, Steve will refund you.